Installing Windows on the Steam Deck robs it of its soul. According to PC Gamer, we're going to see why they think that. But before we do, please consider smashing the like button, hitting the subscribe. Please like the video and click the subscribe, and also click that little bell icon next to it, because I'm going to be having my hands on a Steam Deck hopefully this week. I've put my money down on one, so hopefully we will see one later this week when it ships. So yeah, please subscribe and click the bell icon, and consider support the channel by clicking the join button down below. It costs the price of a cup of coffee, and you'll be supporting me, you'll be supporting the channel, you'll be supporting more Steam Deck content. We'll be doing giveaways, exclusive members only sort of streams and videos. You get a badge next to your name. Listen, it's nice and cozy in here. Come join our little family of Steam Deck fans by clicking the join button. Anyways, on to the video, on to the news. Sorry, I should say. The article comes courtesy of PC Gamer. I'll put the link down below in the video description to where you can go read it yourself. So he says, jamming Windows onto the Steam Deck robs the device of its soul. I quite hadn't realized, that's a little bit cryptic, isn't it? I hadn't quite realized just how integral SteamOS was to my feelings about the Valve's handheld. There are reasons you'd want to stick Windows on Valve's Steam Deck. Obviously, contrarianism is one, morbid geeky curiosity another. I mean, let's be honest, we all want to try Windows on it, right? And run games that maybe we can't on SteamOS. Then there's a desire to play Destiny 2, Fortnite, or a bunch of Microsoft games that have been nixed from the original Linux-based SteamOS 3.0 installation. But having made the jump onto Windows 11 myself this past weekend, I need to tell you, none of those reasons are good enough to rob the Steam Deck of its soul. I'm not talking about the lack of full driver support for Microsoft operating systems or the weird little bugs that crop up as you go. I'm not even talking about the way gaming performance is down on Windows versus SteamOS either. I mean, it definitely is with such immature buggy drivers, but my problem is that booting into Windows on the deck feels nothing less than completely deflating. Like you're utterly missing the point of the device in your hands, and you are. I mean, it works mostly. Right now, Valve is only offering an AMD-made driver that will get you GPU and Wi-Fi support, but no audio, no 3.5mm audio jack audio, no audio with the speakers. You'll have to wait for the drivers to come out, but you can use Bluetooth headset. And obviously you will potentially get worse gaming performance on Windows, which blows my mind. But I think it's just down to AMD releasing such a crappy, immature graphics driver. I think once they update the graphics driver, we're going to see a lot better performance come out of Windows. And hopefully more drivers. Hopefully Valve supports Windows on the Steam Deck, damn it, just to make it a more enjoyable experience. Because let's be honest, most of Steam Deck's competitors are Windows gaming handhelds. So they need to make this an option for people that want to use it. Not everyone wants to install Windows on their Steam Deck, but some people do, and that's okay. They should be able to. It's their device. We paid money for it, okay? So I know I'll probably be keeping Linux on mine for the time being. But yeah, Windows is not made for the small screen life, and nor is it designed for a dedicated gaming device either. It's a multifunctional operating system made for the Swiss Army knife that is a modern PC. On something with such pure focus on handheld gaming as the Steam Deck, it's mostly an awkward experience. I had been excited to get Windows on the deck, however, I haven't really got on with Linux since I stopped using an ultra lightweight distribution on my netbook back in 2009, and I've periodically dallied with different distros on my gaming PC, yes, even SteamOS, but I've always found that Windows is a more comfortable environment for my gaming pleasures. The instant Valve gave the okay for Windows installation by releasing the Aerith drivers. I wanted to get it on my deck. And of course, I had to get Windows 11 on there. It's probably the most suited to a touchscreen gaming device with its updated design scheme, but Valve has said that the Steam Deck was restricted to Windows 10 because of the requirements for TPM. There is a BIOS update in the works which enables FTPM, and that will make a Windows 11 install a standard process. The modest thrill of actually getting Windows 11 up and running on the Steam Deck quickly evaporate. But it almost already is. You only need to use the Rufus ISO mounting software to build a bootable USB drive, and that gives you a one-click method for bypassing those requirements. No modified ISO, no extra hoops to jump through, just an easy install process. It took no time to get Windows 11 on the deck and in working order. The Wi-Fi driver self-installed automatically, and it was soon updated and ready to use. Though the modest thrill of actually getting Windows 11 up and running on the Steam Deck, admittedly with some trackpad oddities, quickly evaporated, then I was just left with a soulless handheld gaming PC like all the others that have failed to excite us so far. And if you were hoping big picture mode would be the savior of Windows on the deck, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed as I was. It won't even render at the deck's native 16:10 resolution. So basically, that whole SteamOS big picture mode that they've built into the Steam Deck, they're planning on actually bringing that to the desktop version of Steam. So that's going to be kind of interesting, being able to run that on, run that on our version, run that on our gaming PCs PCs and pretend that we have a Steam Deck. But it's not out yet. So if you're hoping to like install Windows on your Steam Deck, then boot up Steam, and then jump into basically that SteamOS interface, you're going to have to hold your horses and wait a little bit because they haven't released it yet. But hopefully they will, and hopefully once they do, that'll be a reason why we might want to upgrade to or install Windows on the Steam Deck. Valve's aggressive pricing on the Steam Deck is a massive part of its potential as a device, but SteamOS itself is the thing that will make or break it as an ecosystem. That's what separates it from the crowd, and that's what's going to make every other handheld gaming PC worth getting your hands on. The deck version of SteamOS 3.0 has these simple quality of life features that makes it a great handheld operating system. For one, you never need to leave your game. Checking battery life, power profile, or even the time requires you to alt-tab out of a Windows game. And this is on Windows if you install Windows on your Steam Deck. It's a pain in the ass. And that's tough to do without on a device without a keyboard. Very true. On the Steam Deck, however, on SteamOS, you just have to press the ellipsis button, and it's all there without removing you from the game, from your gaming pleasure. So that's basically the big thing about keeping SteamOS on your Steam Deck, right? It's like you have this little pop-up window on the side here that allows you to tweak some of the settings, check your battery life, scaling, limit the frames, check your notifications and stuff like that. You're going to get that proper handheld experience if you just keep SteamOS on. But the compromise of keeping SteamOS on is the fact that you're not going to get access to everything that's on Windows, like Xbox Game Pass games, like Call of Duty Warzone with anti-cheat software. You're going to be limited to whatever games just work on the Steam, right? And you obviously, with SteamOS, you also have this information here that you could pop up, in a heartbeat. You can check your frame rate, check your CPU usage, battery usage, all that good stuff. All that's baked in. All this is baked into SteamOS, which is one of the pros of just keeping SteamOS on your Steam Deck. With Windows, if you were to get similar things like this on Windows, you'd have to jump through 50 hoops, download like 10 different programs, But with SteamOS, it's all baked in, which is good, right? You're getting that authentic experience with SteamOS. With a few high-profile exceptions, Windows games just work via Proton 2. I've been seriously impressed by just how effective a solution to Linux gaming has evolved into, and I've got to tip my hat to Steam controller stands. Once more, their controller profiles mean that even games not designed for a pad can work brilliantly on the deck. Accessing those via Steam on the desktop isn't an easy experience in Windows, but there are some benefits to having Microsoft's operating system. Docking is far easier, and I was able to get a full 100 Hz refresh rate at my standard monitors 3440 by 1440p native resolution, where SteamOS stuck resolutely to 60 Hz and a 16 by 9 1440p res. There's still seemingly some other plug order etiquette going on, where a HDMI cable can only be plugged into the deck's dock after that dock has been plugged into the deck itself. You will also get access to all the games that have nixed their Steam Deck support because they can't trust the security of Linux with their anti-cheat software. Games such as Destiny 2, Fortnite, Warzone, a lot of these big multiplayer games like Halo Infinite won't work on the Steam Deck, on the native SteamOS, because these developers can't trust that their anti-cheat systems will hold up against Linux users. And the SteamOS Linux is such a small base when it comes to gaming. I don't think they see it worth their time to develop their anti-cheat systems to be Linux compatible. There's not enough people using Linux to make it worth it. And I can understand that from their perspective. Theoretically, you can also use the desktop app for GeForce Now instead of having to go through Chrome with all the controller fails that presents. Chrome doesn't yet support the DeX controllers, and so GeForce Now requires some profiling to game effectively on NVIDIA's stellar streaming service. Using the desktop app ought to circumvent that issue, except that until NVIDIA updates with a check for the AMD Van Gogh based APU inside the Steam Deck, it's still going to see it as failing to meet the minimum requirements for streaming. There is a way to make Windows a perfect partner for the Steam Deck, however, and that's to dual boot. Unfortunately, there's very little way of doing that, or there's still a little way off that eventuality. Windows won't install as a secondary OS to one that's already in place, at least not easily. And Valve hasn't released a version of SteamOS that you can dual boot with. That will give you the best of both worlds and build on the incredible versatility already baked into the deck. You're going to be able to dump Windows onto an SD card and boot from that. But you're missing out on the heart and soul of the Steam Deck by running Windows on it as the only option. And I'm reinstalling SteamOS right now. Thankfully, re-imaging the deck takes next to no time. In fact, I can't wait until I can install SteamOS on a bunch of other PCs. Though sadly, right now, the situation doesn't work in reverse either. I tried squeezing SteamOS 3.0 onto the One X Player Mini, and that almost worked. Well, I got a cursor and a brief flash of the Steam Deck logo, then nothing. When Valve does release a final open version of SteamOS 3.0, however, that's going to open things up for all the existing handheld gaming PCs already on the market and pave the way for even more. Hell, it could even make a bunch of low-spec laptops look interesting. I'm certainly slapping it on my Razer Blade Stealth 13. I have to say this wasn't what I expected. When I first turned on my Steam Deck, it was the hardware that most impressed me, while the off-patched software felt unfinished. But after spending some time with the entirely unsuitable Windows installation, I've seen the light, and you're doing the deck a disservice by ditching its bespoke OS. So basically right now, Windows has a lot of quirks, a lot of things that aren't optimized for the Steam Deck. There's a lot of things you can't do on the Steam Deck on Windows, not less drivers not working right. A lot of things that are baked into SteamOS, you're going to have to install like 10 different apps on Windows to do it. There's going to be like situations where you're in an app that requires you to press the escape key or something to back out the app, but there is no keyboard on the Steam Deck, right? Especially on Windows, right? How do you pull up this the virtual keyboard? It's going to be insanely difficult. You're going to have to set like some sort of key binding using some sort of third-party software. There's a lot of questions right now when it comes to Windows on the Steam Deck, and I think over time, a lot of the bugs and issues and quirks that it has will get ironed out eventually. I can only hope they will. And obviously, they're going to be installing an option, or sorry, they're going to be releasing software. Valve is going to be releasing software to allow you to make it easy to dual boot Windows and SteamOS. And I think once we get there, we'll finally have the full versatility of the Steam Deck. But I would not recommend installing Windows 10 on your Steam Deck right now. I think if you get your hands on the Steam Deck anytime soon, just keep SteamOS on it. Wait, give developers, give people time to to basically make Windows compatible fully with the Steam Deck. Make it easier. Maybe some software that can help make that transition a little bit easier and allow there not to be conflicts with the game controller showing up on Windows and whatnot. But anyways, yeah, it's a complicated subject, as you know. But yeah, my opinion, don't install Windows on your Steam Deck if you get it anytime soon. I was fully intending to install Windows the day I got my Steam Deck, but that's changed. I'm just going to keep SteamOS on it for the time being, and just wait till more support's out there, to wait till the drivers are released, wait till the drivers are improved, wait till Valve releases the dual boot installer to install Windows and SteamOS alongside each other. I think that'll be the ideal situation. So just wait and see. Give it time. Good things come to those who wait. But yeah, my opinion, don't install Windows on your Steam Deck. And as you saw, Dave James on PCGamer.com, go check out the article, agrees. You don't need to install Windows on your Steam Deck right now. It kind of takes away from the experience of the Steam Deck. Anyways, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, listen to me ramble on, listen to the article. Again, thanks to PC Gamer. Go check out the article down below. But yeah, I'm super excited to get my hands on my Steam Deck. Should be here, hopefully, within the next 7 days. So stay tuned, click the subscribe, click the bell icon to be notified when I finally do get it. And also go follow me on Twitter as well, link in the description. I post on Twitter every day. Talk to me, say hi, and I'll let you know when it finally arrives. Okay, so see you later, guys. Take care. Have an amazing day. Peace out. It's PlayStation.